Today on the Cardinals Squad Show, Scary Terry requests a trade. Will Terry McLaurin or should the Cardinals go after him? And who's got more to prove this season? Drew Petzing or Kyler Murray? Plus, we take a sneak peek at James Conner and Trey Benson, and we'll talk a little bit of Madden ratings. We'll do it all next.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Sponsored by Game Time. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
What is up? Welcome back into the Cardinals Squad Show. I'm Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show mornings on YouTube and a credentialed Cardinals media member. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals Squad Show your first listen here on this beautiful Thursday. Don't forget the Locked On Cardinals Squad Show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button to do what thousands of other Cardinals fans have already done. Become an everyday and get locked on to the Cardinals Squad Show right here each and every day. Joining me today, as always, from your regularly scheduled Locked On Cardinals content, Alex Clancy, as well as ASU football alum, former NFL offensive lineman and Super Bowl champion, Jamil Douglas, who's got a little bit of a thing going on. Before, I just didn't think you owned a microphone, and now you got ASU in the background. You're teasing me that you don't have that you have someone's jersey in the background. It's yours.
Yeah, it's some random guys back there.
Yeah, okay. No one can give me a break on this show. Jamil, Clancy, what's up, man? How are you?
Well, we're getting philosophical early on. We know that's not a strong suit.
Okay.
So may as well start the way we ended.
Are you going to before just, you know what? Let's just jump into it, because I know you're just going to poo-poo all over this, and you're no fun. You want to just, have the Cardinals do nothing for forever. So let's talk about it. Terry McLaurin has just requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. We know that this is sometimes typical when it comes to contract disputes, wanting to get more money. We saw this with Budda Baker a couple years ago. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going anywhere, but it's a good thought exercise. Someone's unhappy. It's gone to the point where they've requested a trade. Clancy, I'll start with you. Should the Arizona Cardinals make a call on Scary Terry?
The important part about this here is they could. It shows structure. It shows the future. They 100% could offer a second or third round pick for Terry McLaurin and give him 25. Ari Mayroff tweeted out he wants around $30 million a year. Like, they could 100% do that and not crater anything. Having said that, of course they shouldn't. When it comes to Budda Baker, Budda Baker wanted some elevators in his contract, and the current year fully guaranteed, which is far less. It's less than half of what Terry McLaurin got. Like, Mike Evans and Devontae Adams give people they're unfair. They're the exceptions to the rule. They're equally as good now as they were when they were in their mid to late 20s. Terry McLaurin's been fine. He's had the sneaky 1,000-yard seasons. He was super touchdown dependent last year. I think he had 10. No, absolutely not. It's unnecessary to do so, in my opinion.
Jamil?
I mean, the guy is an animal. He's a dog. I'll say that. That being said, I feel like the Cardinals have enough in their wide receiver room. I feel like with Terry McLaurin going there, it's going to obviously, yes, you want to have another weapon that can open up some things for Marvin Harrison Jr., but I almost feel like it's going to hinder his emergence as a number one receiver because of the amount of passes he requires. Speaking on Terry McLaurin, I don't see a point in them going to do it. Obviously, yes, it's great. Go make a splash, and he's a guy that's going to put up 1,000 yards. He's going to score, 8 to 10 touchdowns. But I just don't see it really making sense for the Cardinals to do it on offense. I think they have enough in the passing game.
I pretty much just have one thought when it comes to bringing Terry into Arizona. I don't necessarily think it's something that the Cardinals should jump all over. What I thought they should jump all over is Hendrickson, Micah, and that kind of leads me into the belief that Monty Ossenfort's probably just good. But Monty and JG must just have 100% job security from Michael Bidwell that there's no way he's going anywhere. And I understand it is a long shot that the Cardinals move on from both guys anyways, but this could be your year to compete. I just don't understand waiting because we don't know what next year's Jaden Daniels could be. He could be awesome. Matt Stafford's getting older. He's already week to week with a back injury. The NFC is wide open. We just saw what the Eagles did last year. Gear up. Devonta Smith, A.J. Brown, 1A and 1B on that team. Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley. If the Cardinals did it, I would celebrate it. However, I'm not going to go after them for not doing it because I do get a lot of the things that you're saying as well, Jamil. It's just like it could hinder the growth of Marvin Harrison Jr. But man, dude, when you get into those shootouts with Matthew Stafford and Jaden Daniels late in the playoffs this year, if you even get to go that far, or Jared Goff, who's got plenty of weapons, I would just like to know that you did all you could this year to try to win, because I don't believe in the gradual growth. I believe in be ready for when your moment is going to be. And I think this could be it for the Cardinals this year because we don't know what it's going to look like next season. So that's where I would go into it. Clancy, you got a rebuttal for me?
So the thing with Philly is it's apples and oranges. I mean, they traded for A.J. Brown 3 years ago now, and then they paid him then because it needed a wide receiver. They drafted Devonta Smith. This would be putting a square peg in a round hole just to force it, just to say, oh, the roster's better now. This offense is either going to work or it won't. Yeah. Like adding another dude isn't going to do it. They would have drafted a wide receiver. They would have traded for George Pickens. They would have done it already. Like if you ask me, Terry McLaurin right now, or go out and try and get George Pickens in free agency next year, I'd much rather do the latter. So I'm just saying as an exercise, I'm not saying they should do that. The Arizona Cardinals are a run-first team with one of the best tight ends and one of the best young receivers in the league. Look at 10 of the other teams in the league. They ain't got that. With James Conner, like the Cardinals are the slow and steady wins, man. Like the Steelers are relevant every year for a reason. They're just do boring stuff. And that's what the Cardinals have done. They've been boring over the last 3 off seasons. And if you don't think they've done enough this offseason specifically, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't know what to tell you. They filled 99% of holes, if not 100.
Yeah, I don't think they're a receiver away from being contenders. Like that, like
that's a good way to put it. Like the next level isn't a receiver away.
Yeah, it's not a receiver. It's, to me, it's obviously the offense clicking, but I don't think that's from a space of they're missing someone. They have the guys. They just got to put it together. I think if anything, it's obviously fixing the pass rush. You talk about, the going against Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts and Matt Stafford. The way to beat those guys is to get to the quarterback, in my opinion. So I don't think they're a receiver away from us being like, this is the move that put them over that hump.
I think the best take, and I think you guys are both kind of saying it is, and I would probably lean towards and agree with this, is you already haven't figured out Marvin Harrison Jr. yet. Probably figure out that problem before you do. It just feels like, I would disagree with you guys. Like, you don't, sure, on paper, the Cardinals are not a receiver away from competing. But I will go back and say last year, the Washington Commanders, no one thought they were a piece away from competing. They were in the conference championship. The year before that, the lowly Lions in the conference championship game should have won that game, actually. And that's my point of, like, you don't know, in my opinion, when you are actually going to be ready to compete. I'm not going to pound the table for Terry McLaurin because I would like to keep the assets for a pass rusher. However, it is a load-up league, especially when you know you don't have one of those top elite quarterbacks. Put a bunch around him and see what you can do. However, I'm concerned right now with Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray figuring it out with the guys that they have. So I'll stay with that. However, there is a price that you guys would bring Terry McLaurin here. What is that price? If you let's say the Cardinals did trade for him, and let's say for all intents and purposes they gave him $30 million a year. The cap is funny money. It would have to depend how it's structured. But is there a pick that if the Cardinals gave up, you're like, oh yeah, sure. Maybe it's not a second rounder, obviously not a first rounder. Nothing?
No, because the money that the Cardinals would think to give him, Washington's already tried and it hasn't worked. I can guarantee you that. Whatever the Cardinals aren't giving a wide receiver $30 million if his name's not Marvin Harrison Jr. You know, like that's just not what it's going to be. This is the new regime. And guess what? He's won 4 Super Bowls. He was a part of all the New England stuff when Bill Belichick could not draft and they won Super Bowls. He was one of the worst drafting GMs in the history of sport. And they continued to win because they did things the way Monty Osborne is doing it now in some form or fashion. Like it's boring wins. Boring wins.
I'll tell you what, if we're talking about where Terry McLaurin will create a problem is if he goes to the Buffalo Bills or he goes to a San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. You're jumping the gun a little bit. Then.
I'm just saying.
That's the question I was going to ask because, and I was hoping you didn't say that team. Is there a team? Because listen, we live in a world of social media, but this is kind of what I had in my brain because I thought we'd all kind of agree. Probably not the best move for the Cardinals right now, which I would agree with that too. Is there a team in the NFC West that if they got Terry McLaurin, you're like, damn, Jamil, is it the San Francisco 49ers?
I think it is the 49ers. I think, I mean, obviously you wanted Brandon Ayuk to be that guy that is your number one receiver. You paid him number one receiver money and he hasn't been that guy. He's been hurt. So I think you add him to a room with a coach like Shanahan and it creates a ton of different issues. So I would say the 49ers and that's in the NFC. I think they're somebody that would have their eyes open for a receiver. I think if he does make his way to Buffalo, that's going to be a scary sight.
Yeah, I mean, but the 49ers can't. They just paid Brock Purdy. They paid Christian McCaffrey. They paid Trent Williams. They paid Nick Bosa. They paid Fred Warner this offseason. They paid everybody. They can't pay anybody else. The cap is funny money until, like, ask the New Orleans Saints how funny that money is. And what purgatory they're going to be in for the next 5 years. They've kicked the can down the road, starting with Drew Brees' $60 million deal or whatever it was, with $30 million on the first day and $30 million on the second day. They just kicked it down, and they haven't won squadoodle. You know, it's like the Cardinals have the opportunity to build things like they have, and either it's going to work on offense or it won't. And that's what it comes down to. Plus, all of this aside, ain't no way Terry's going anywhere besides Washington, man. Like, come on. But, like, if it were to happen, there's only a handful of teams that it would make sense to trade and pay that money to. Like, it's just the Cardinals aren't on that short list. I just don't think.
I think
it'd be fun, but
it would
it's rational sense.
It would be really fun. However, I'm of the belief that when you do feel like you're a piece or two away, you want to be sure you have those assets for when it happens. Micah Parsons probably going to get paid, but there might be another Micah Parsons next year that you could get on the trading market. Maybe Hendrickson is awesome again this year, and you sign him in free agency. You want to be ready to have those assets when it's time to strike. So Terry McLaurin would be fun. However, I just looked it up right now. The San Francisco 49ers have $47 million in salary cap space right now. However, again, look, Clancy is kind of right here where Brock Purdy just got his extension. That makes the salary cap look a little inflated right now. That'll kick in down the road. George Kittle just got paid again. That'll kick in as well. They could do it, and it would scare the hell out of me, and they've already done a deal already. However, I look at Adam Peters, the general manager of the Washington Commanders. He's already kind of been through this twice with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. I do wonder, because I think the Niners feel like they got burned on both contracts, that maybe Adam Peters does move him. But I would I would probably agree with you guys that he's probably staying in
he's not that big of friends with Kevin Stefan with Kyle Shanahan to send him back where he came from. Like, that's not the good old boys club of GMs and coaches. It doesn't go that deep. You know, that's never going to happen. And if it does, Ben's going to shave his head. He already told me. So either way, yeah, you did. I'll show you the clip. Either way, it's going to be enticing. But you hope for football, like for football in general, I want to see Jane Daniels and Terry McLaurin run it back. It was 13 touchdowns.
Yeah, man.
It was fun, dude. It was super fun. I want to see it not change.
I'm wondering why is he not getting paid
it doesn't make any sense.
He's done everything for them in the up and down years, and there's been a lot more down years than there has been up.
He's kept his mouth shut.
Doesn't it feel like they owe Terry? I mean, like, if you want to relate it to a Cardinals aspect, let's do it. This reminds me of something the Cardinals would have done years ago. like with the Buda Baker situation, right? Buda deserved to be paid because he was a good soldier and a leader through all the trying and tough times. Was it smart to pay I think he was a little bit, I think he was 28 at that time when he got that deal, maybe whatever. He was a little bit older, as well as he was not a position that people value, at least in this NFL at the safety position. And the Cardinals were kind of playing funny money with him. And most people were saying, okay, come on. The dude's been a good soldier. He's never in trouble. He puts up thousands of yards. And now you're not going to pay him? Like, this feels like an old Cardinals thing, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It just shows like there are a couple of things that you can take away from everything that's happening with other organizations now because the Cardinals register with functionality. So you're looking at it from afar. You're looking at the stuff in Cleveland. You're looking at the stuff in different organizations, Jacksonville, where it's like, hey, the Cardinals are not only more talented than those rosters, but they're doing things more efficiently and effectively. And you're throwing Washington in. Like the fact that they didn't pay him 3 months ago shows an institutional thing. It's not just because they made the NFC Championship. Nobody's going to remember that next year. Who cares? Who cares who made it to the NFC Championship game? Yeah. So I don't know, dude. I think these are positive things for the Cardinals. They've got everything in house. They've drafted well. They don't need to do this, but they could if they wanted to. And that is a brand new concept for this organization.
Yeah.
Just lastly, Jamil, did you ever experience, not maybe you in particular, but did you ever experience a player that was really good to their organization and then it was finally time to get paid and they played with his money? Did the players around that situation get annoyed?
I mean, yeah, obviously, you know, and it's an elephant in the room. I mean, I was in Tennessee.
Oh, really?
I was in Tennessee when AJ Brown,
that's right,
was, you know, coming up in his contract, and draft night he gets traded to Philly. And I'm telling you, you would have thought AJ Brown would have been a Titan for life just based off of his relationship in that building. And so, and from a different player standpoint, when you look at how that contract negotiation is being dealt with, it may leave a sour taste in your mouth just about the you know, the upstairs, the people upstairs in the building. So it definitely gets talked about within the locker rooms. And I'm sure there's guys on the Commanders like, man, why are they doing this to him? You know, but it's just the nature of the game, and that's how the business goes.
Well, that's the nature of the NFL business, as Jamil just mentioned. There's more business to be taken care of on this Cardinals offensive side that has nothing to do with Terry McLaurin. The offense has looked a little shady in some training camp videos, and it got me thinking. After me and Clancy kind of argued a bit last show on Drew Petzing, Kyler Murray, let's talk about who's got more to prove this season. Drew Petzing, Kyler Murray. But first, a word from our sponsor, done by my guy, Alex Clancy.
Is that me? Am I supposed to talk now? Kidding. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. So whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. See what I did there? Let's be honest. Some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. For me, it used to be 21, 22, 6 a.m. golf time, maybe a beer. Who knows? You could live forever at that point. Things change when I get on the golf course now. It's got to be more caffeine-driven and not so much alcohol. And that's why this is the perfect remedy for it. Golf is all about good timing with good friends and good flavors, of course. And the grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and can't be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription offers, whether you're meeting up with friends or turning, 18 into 36 holes in one day. Get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-Hour Energy shots today.
That was really good.
Thank you. Ben, I love when you mute your mic.
I'm sure someone's gonna buy it now.
Dude, I tried it. So good.
Did you down a 5-Hour Energy right before this?
No, I'm jacking.
It's always like this.
Cardinals.
It's football season.
I feel, I mean, I've seen Clancy's like the only media member that I've watched his stuff, but have actually never met him in person. So I'd be curious to know what he's like in person. Maybe he'd just fight me on the spot right then and there. Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals offense has looked a little so-so to say the least. If we're just talking about highlights that we're seeing on social media, some of the concern about this offense is, can Kyler Murray, can Drew Petzing coexist? And more so, which guys got more to prove this year? I've kind of talked about earlier that maybe Kyler is going to be here for longer than we think because of his contract situation. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe they're ready to move on because they know what they have in the OC and Drew Petzing, and Kyler's not executing. So let's debate it then. Who's got more to prove this season, Petzing and Kyler? Or listen, you could cheat a little bit here and say both guys could be gone. Jamil?
I mean, the reality of it is, I think that Kyler has more to prove, in my opinion. Just given this is what his second year. I mean, outside of the injury, this is his second year going into the season with this coordinator, and everyone's talking about the play of Kyler Murray to get the Cardinals over the hump. I think if it goes south, Kyler's not going anywhere. I'm just telling you that right now, because I mean, just to be real, like who else are you going to go get? There's no quarterbacks out here that you're willing to just put your job on the line and ride for, especially given where this organization is. So I'm going to say Kyler has more to prove, but I'm also going to say Kyler will be the last man standing if it does go south. I think that you'll see a coach get fired before you see Kyler Murray moving on.
I think it's a rare situation where that makes sense. It's like, even though it's like, okay, it's year 7, all the Kyler haters who have been hated since year 1, all of this is confirmation bias. No matter what, good, bad, if you love Kyler, you hate Kyler, you're going to be confirmed with what you think before the season starts, what you thought before the season started. If the Cardinals win 10 games, nobody's going anywhere. Yeah. So that's kind of the benchmark. But if the offense looks boring, and not boring in a way where you run the ball, you do play action, you do the right things, but boring, unimaginative, Drew's going to be the one on the chopping block. Even though either it's going to work or it's not mantra that I've been spewing from my big dumb face for a year. It's like, when it comes down to it and tie goes to the runner, tie goes to the player, even if it's year 7. Because I'll tell you what, there is 396,000 people who would line up to be the OC for this team, and you'd rather give it another shot one more time. And if it doesn't work with another guy and Kyler's the problem, then you move. But I don't think this is solely on Kyler, because we know how great he can be. We don't know how great Drew Petzing is yet.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it felt like in the first season with Kyler, when Kyler was back, you saw something there. But maybe it was because we were expecting so little out of that team that when we saw the fight, when we saw them win games against the Falcons in Kyler's first game back, and then against the Eagles on the road at the Link, you kind of thought you had something. And then last year, it started immediately in that Bills game, man. It's a lot of dink and dunk offense, and I'm not sure who to blame. Because again, I'll keep referencing later in the season, Petzing let Kyler Murray rip it. I just don't know who deserves more blame from last year.
What's wrong with dink and dunk? I need to know what's wrong with dink. I mean, Tom Brady dinked and dunked his way to
absolutely.
He's
pretty
good.
Absolutely. However, it's complementary. When you take away that stuff underneath, then what do you have? Or however, when you're too lenient on it and you're a run, dink and dunk offense, what happens when James Conner goes down? Your offense isn't predicated on anything else, and you become boring. So I would agree with Clancy about there's got to be more motion. There's got to be it's got to look more like a Niners offense,
obviously,
than a Cardinals offense from last year.
But I mean, there's a lot of things.
It's not going to be Kyle. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that you have to add more of an element to it where it doesn't feel like I'm sitting on my couch and knowing what's coming next.
Okay, you want to see some creativity.
Yes. Yeah, but the linchpin here is, if the creativity's there, but Kyler's not waiting for the progression of the play to take place, and he's just taking that underneath route, that's the one. And that's what we've seen. And when Kyler sees Trey McBride open, he throws him the ball. I don't care how deep he is down the field. It's not because Trey McBride can run over anybody that's wearing pads on an opposing team. It's because he's open and he's right there. That's the thing that you need to really decipher. It's like if you're constantly missing open dudes by waiting half a beat more, that's Kyler. That's not the play calling. That's the interpretation of the play that was called. And I'm not saying that's what'll happen, but the dink and dunk stuff, like James Conner has nothing to do with the pass game, really, with the dink and dunk, because he's going to be in the backfield blocking if it's that quick. So when it
boring
comes
is
out,
boring is okay. Boring is
fine,
okay.
But you need that pop, and this is more where Kyler Murray running the ball will come into play. And I know we're going a little off course, but this is important. Like,
go for it.
This offense needs to be just a metronome, and then you have an RPO. Kyler puts it in Trey Benson's chest, and he houses it 50 yards the other way when nobody's expecting it. That's what this offense is missing a lot more than it has. We saw one against the Chargers, a broken play where he hit the edge against the backer and he was gone. The 49ers play, the Josh Dobbs play against the Giants, Drew Petzing's first year, where he put in James Conner's chest and took it 45 yards the other way when nobody was expecting it. That's what this offense is missing. And you need to determine on who is the one that's preventing that floodgate from opening. Because Lauren's great, and you got that one play that wins you a game.
Who would you say has been? I want to make you pick, Clancy. Who would you say has been?
I mean, I think last year it was Kyler. The year before it was Petzing, but the year before doesn't really matter. Like, I think last year was Kyler. I think they just didn't have his best stuff down the stretch, but he had his best stuff when they won a whole bunch of games early in the season. So I don't know what the hell to say about this guy. He's incredibly genius, and he's a bottom 5 quarterback in the same guy. So I'm not saying he's a bottom 5 quarterback all the time, but
listen, we're just saying.
You play with Tannehill. You play with Taylor Heineke, who's not as good as Tannehill, but Ryan Tannehill is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has higher upside. Ryan Tannehill looked to have a higher floor, especially when he was in Tennessee. Yeah. And sometimes it's good enough.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm okay with the boring. I don't need the flashy, the flashy plays to win a game. I need you to manage the game and keep us in close games and allow our defense to make plays. That's what we built the defense for. So I'm okay with dinking and dunking, whether it's 3 or 4 yards here and there. Just control the game, get us in the end zone, get us points. We need consecutive points all the time, and that's how you win those close games in the NFL. It's not you're not tricking anybody in the NFL. It just doesn't happen. So the flashiness, like I said, we saw Tom Brady dink and dunk his way to multiple Super Bowls, and obviously those small plays allow you to take those big shots and get your playmakers the ball. But we just got to see Kyler manage the game, man.
Why do we think Kyler Murray has not put it together for a full season yet? And I don't think you guys are going to say this, but like let's leave injuries out of it. Why do we think Kyler falls? This could be a whole nother show, but why do we think Kyler falls off a cliff after 12 games? What happens? Do the opposing defenses just get smarter after the Cardinals bye week? Or
I've said it before. The identity piece. There's almost a time where he's getting at, like, when you're getting asked to just drop back and deliver the ball play after play, it becomes easier and easier for a defense to get what they want out of the offense. When you have an identity where it's the run, play action, or it's the boot, or it's the RPO, things that you can kind of build on week after week after week, it just allows you to stay less predictable and create issues for the defense, given the skill guys that you have. I just don't think that they have a specific identity that they lean their hat on week in and week out and then develop a plan from there. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, your guy's new nickname is Dink and Dunk. You can choose who's Dink and who's Dunk. But you guys,
he's definitely Dink.
Because you could probably dunk, so I guess that makes sense.
He's Dink.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. So with Kyler, and this is actually really good, Jamil. So the identity for the Arizona Cardinals need to be Kyler Murray is unpredictable. Not in an unpredictable way that You don't know if he's going to throw a pick or a touchdown, but you don't know if he's going to be taking the ball in his hands and running like Lamar Jackson, or throwing, because that's what it used to be. You never knew what was coming, and that's a Drew Petzing thing. Making him a pocket passer is the biggest idiocy that you could ever do, because he's not. He's first of all, he's not tall enough to be. Second of all, he's never been. So why would you Isaiah Simmons him and move him off ball when you just let him roam? And I think that's kind of the thing where it's like, down the stretch, do what you know. And what you know is putting the ball in Kyler Murray's hands usually pretty well when he's on the other side of the line of scrimmage. You can't be scared for him to get injured, because that cuts his legs out from under him anyways. So if you're going to go full bore and try and win a championship, you need all of Kyler Murray, and all of Kyler Murray is a lot in front of the line of scrimmage. I mean, outside of the run game that they have, that's what keep opposing defenses guessing.
Absolutely.
But it's got to be something.
Absolutely. I remember before. Wait, last point. So when I was in 2020, when I played for the Titans, and we saw the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, the big key to the game was do not let Lamar Jackson get up the hashes on a read option. If he gets up the hashes, he's gonna go score. And it was also make him throw outside the hashes, because he doesn't have the accuracy to complete the ball outside the hashes. This man pulled a read option one play and got straight up the hashes and ran for 60 on us. Kyler Murray has that same ability to be a threat with his legs. Also, we know he can throw the ball, but he has the ability to be a threat with his legs. We just need to see it to the point where it's a key to the game for defenses. Like, do not let this guy get up the hashes. He will make you pay. And that's when you start having to build a plan around a guy that is difficult.
Yeah, because it weakens everything else. It weakens your defenses, because you've got a spy on him who's not able to bracket somebody else. You've got a spy on him that can't watch Greg Dortch, 100%. Drag from one side of the field to the other. Like, that's the thing where great quarterbacks who can win in this league, who aren't Joe Burrow, that's the deciding factor. Like, Josh Allen's different because he can just run over you. You don't need to play. It's like, well, he's either going to bowling ball me or not. You need to be more methodical and meticulous with Kyler, because his body type is completely different. Doesn't mean he's less good or less talented. It's just different. So yeah, I mean, that's it. So when the answer to the question for the segment, as we're going incredibly long, that's got to be both of them. That's got to be both of them. They've got to figure out the elixir to highlight Kyler Murray in a way that they can win more games than they lose when they've tried to do it in the past.
Yeah, I'll always go long when I talk about the quarterback, and I'm going to do it again here as well. Are we still all in on Kyler? Like, are we all in that Kyler? And when I mean all in, because this is all I care about, that Kyler as your quarterback, you can win a Super Bowl with. Yes. Not that he's the main reason, but he can win a Super Bowl. Even though, and my job is to play devil's advocate, and I'm even saying I believe this, he has not put it together for 17 straight games. Like, he's done it for 12.
Listen, I'm telling you, I think about Baker Mayfield. Every time we talk about Kyler, I think about a Baker Mayfield. And I don't think Kyler's far off from a Baker Mayfield. I just think once Baker put it all together, now he's talked about in that conversation of having Tampa Bay in the discussion every year in the NFC. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Kyler is that close. He's that close of just making the smart plays and managing games that allows them to be in that conversation. I don't think he's a guy. I don't think he's a guy that you can just write off like that. I just don't.
No, I listen again. I've got to play devil's advocate here. I'm not out on Kyler, and for me, I don't. At some point, I have to be out. Like, if this year doesn't work out, I got to come to grips. But I have never seen a quarterback that hasn't won a playoff game make the throw he made to Marvin Harrison Jr. in stride with the dude down his throat on 4th and 15 against the 49ers. I haven't seen him, throw the ball to Christian Kirk against the Minnesota Vikings years ago on 4th down over the shoulder with guys. Like, Kyler does that, but then the issue is then he runs to the back of the end zone and throws the ball to the other team in a playoff game for a touchdown. Like, he drives you. And so I agree with Clancy with, like, he could be a top 5 guy at times, and he could be a bottom 5 guy, and that's just where it's at. So I'm not out yet, but that's where I'm at, Clancy.
I mean, we're gonna Uncle Rico the hell out of this. How much better of a person were you 4 years ago? That was 4 years ago. We're not talking. That's high school. That's college.
Okay.
Like that's not. It's not the same dude. This isn't Dan Orlovsky doing it like whatever. It's not. This didn't happen last week. Like I don't know why Dan got this Trey. Dan, friend of the show. Dan, gonna have you back on.
Good
man.
dude. Good dude. Good dude.
Kyler Murray is a guy who is in the upper echelon of the second tier of dudes who can win. Remember, what did I say? How many guys under the age of 37 who are starting quarterbacks right now currently have a Super Bowl ring? Two out of 30. And the other two are Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. 1/15th of the league. So just because he hasn't done it yet doesn't mean that it's not his turn this year. That's not rose-colored glasses either. The NFL has never been more wide open than it is right now. Aside from Patrick Mahomes, everybody else, it's wide. It's wide the hell open. And this is the perfect time for the Cardinals to be ramping up the way they are. So yeah, I mean, 2.
It's a point.
It's a good stat right there.
It's the point I've kept driving home is that the NFL is so wide open. So you can't just move off of Kyler. So if let's just say the Cardinals win 10 games and miss the playoffs this year, man, we're going to have like really annoying conversations about like, oh, Kyler couldn't get it done. It's like, there's a lot of other worse options. And that's kind of where I always land with Kyler. Let's move over to a different position on the offensive side. We haven't talked a lot about James Conner and Trey Benson. Let's talk about how they're going to use Conner. What's the best way to do so? And if Trey Benson is indeed ready to be the full-on number 2 running back. Let's talk about that next. First, today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier with Monarch Money? It can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. One of the things that I've had trouble with, especially I think it was about 5 months ago when we were just cutting costs in the Garcia household, it was realizing how many different subscriptions I paid for, whether it was Peacock or Netflix. We had 2 Spotify accounts. My wife doesn't even use Spotify. If I would have had Monarch Money, if I had been using it back then, I would have learned maybe I should cut some costs a little bit here because look at all the money that we're spending in these subscriptions that I don't even use. So take control over your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. All right, here's the golden question.
Yeah.
As we've talked about several different positions, Marv, Kyler, I'll continue to beat the drum. That I think the second most important piece of the Cardinals offense, that being Marvin Harrison Jr., probably first if the Cardinals are going to be a playoff team, I think is James Conner. Because if they're going to rely on him as much as they have been over the last couple of seasons, when he went down last year, this offense was a non-starter. James Conner is getting older. I probably should have looked up his age at this point before I started the segment, but as it doesn't pop up, at 30 years old. We know there's that shelf life for running backs that sometimes when they reach that dreaded 30-year-old age, they start to fall off a cliff. James Conner is going to be a mainstay in this offense this year. The question is, how do you use and how do you deploy James Conner? Do you want to go full-on workhorse? Do you want to split it up 50-50, 70-30, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery style with Trey Benson? How would you use James Conner? What's the correct way to do so, Alex?
I mean, I want Jamil to take this first because you blocked for running backs for years.
He did not block for a running back. He blocked for a cyborg, man. Was your job even difficult? blocking for Derrick Henry?
Yes.
It actually is because there's there's 9 people in the box and they know the run is coming, so it's really hard.
And I would okay. Obviously, I know it's difficult. I wouldn't have thought of it like
punt
that.
block formation is what it is.
Pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
It's pretty hard,
but it's easier to run block than it is pass block, right?
I mean, listen, it's all hard. I'll just be. I am not a Trent Williams, so it's all hard to me. But listen, this is how I feel about the James Conner thing. I personally, I am not going to make this guy my workhorse at this point in his career. I think the ability, we only see a couple backs that can really do it to the level of which, a Derrick Henry or a Saquon Barkley. When we talk about the tread on the tires and what they're able, we obviously seen, Saquon had injuries early on in his career, and Derrick Henry's just one of one in terms of the amount of carries that he gets. I just feel like James Conner at this point in his career can do better if it's let's call it 60-40 split. And you allow it to be a running back by committee with Trey Benson, 2 different running styles. I think that Trey Benson allows, you to do some different things from an elusiveness standpoint. And James Conner allows you to just get downhill. I just think with the way that the offense should be set up is getting downhill with James Conner, setting up your play action with James Conner. Then you bring in Trey Benson, and obviously don't be predictable because he can do both, but it allows you to, throw the screens, do all those type of things with him. So I just think he would be better if he's fresher down the stretch, and, having 2 running backs that can really tote the rock is better than 1.
Yeah. And the first hurdle here is it's got to be James Conner and somebody else. They got to figure out who the second person is. And for me, I don't care they got drafted in the 3rd round. I don't care that Amari DeMarcado was undrafted. I don't give a rip. They're in the NFL. It doesn't matter. I'm giving Trey Benson all of the opportunity to not allow Amari DeMarcado on the field this year. Like, you give him the opportunity, and, through preseason, whatever it is, you start to see a little crack in that, then maybe you pivot. But this is not a situation where it's like running back by committee. Let's get 6 dudes back there so there's fresh legs. No, you need cohesion and collaboration with the offensive line and 2 dudes, no more. You have a 3rd down back, whatever it is. But for the allocation of touches, they had 300 total carries last year. James Conner had 78% of them. Okay, that's not sustainable, and they're using him as a crutch like they have been since 2020. 65-35, something like that, where you let the kid eat between the 20s and you get James Conner in there during the important ones, 3rd and short, things like. I'm not saying that James Conner's just taken off the field, but I want Trey Benson there in the 1st quarter. I want Trey Benson there in the 2nd quarter, 3rd quarter, and 4th quarter. This has to be a running back by committee thing as you start to see. I call it stupid, but I call it a solar eclipse, where it's like old dudes starting slowly to fade out, young dudes slowly starting to fade into that role. That's where the beginning of the LeGarrette Blount role starts for James Conner. And it's this year. I don't care the extent of it. I
would love to see a situation where, if Trey Benson is the number 2, I would love to see a situation where you have both of those guys on the field with Kyler Murray at the same time, and just allow there to be some read option, kind of go back to the college style of some speed option, whatever you want to do, just get creative. If you got 2 guys that can run the ball efficiently, get them both on the field, and I just feel like it'll open the offense up some.
Yeah. I don't want to sit here and just agree with you guys when it comes to Conner. So let's change it in this way then. If Conner is lost, because I think we all agree one of the reasons why you want to bring Trey Benson into the fold at minimally a 70-30 split, which was not the ratio when James Conner was healthy last year, was like 90-10 Conner to someone else, is we want to keep the guy healthy. So if James Conner goes down, which is probably going to happen because it happens every year.
Why did he gets
injured. He gets injured every single year. That once it happens every year, it's a trend. I mean, that's like saying, why is it raining during monsoon season? Oh, because it happens every year.
And why is that?
Because it's a trend. It's a part of the way of life. So Conner
why is it a trend?
Because
I'm just asking, why is it a trend?
It's a pattern. It's a pattern. It happens every
Why
year.
is it a pattern? I'm asking a very simple question. Why is it happening? Because they overuse them.
Down?
Yeah, because they overuse them.
That's my
Yeah, so
that's the point I was that was the point I was going to get to, and you're yelling at me.
You're taking too long.
Okay. With the Cardinals, 15, 13, 13, 16 games. So he plays mostly, obviously, a lot of these games. However, if he's gone for a 3-4 week period, do you feel comfortable that Trey Benson can hold that down and be the 90-10 back until he comes back? Or are you guys like I am, scared bleepless that if James Conner goes down, we're turning into the game against the Rams and second half against the Panthers where you can't move the football?
The Rams, they were already out of playoff contention, so it didn't really matter. The Panthers one is valid. When it comes to this, that's where, like, yeah, you bring in Trey, you bring in Amari DeMarcado, you bring up Michael Carter. It's all hands on deck. But majority of that, if it is Trey Benson, you're going to have Kyler Murray running the ball more too. Like, they've got dudes. Okay, James Conner. And I didn't mean to beat you up with that. Like, the reason why he breaks down is because at times to start games, he touches the ball the first 9 plays. It's like, it can't happen. It can't happen. And that's why the infusion of Trey Benson early and often will allow for more dispersion of his 240 touches if he has them throughout the course of his season. Like, that's what it is. You can get ahead of it. There's a reason why he's gotten hurt is because they've relied on him for the offense. And that isn't always what it needs to be. He's not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's LeBron James. Doesn't make any sense. You can't compare it. He's a cyborg. You can't compare it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm not. Look, I feel like if we're talking about James Conner going down, like, teams deal with that all the time. Teams deal with their backs going down all the time. There's a reason why the Ravens lead the league in rushing. Obviously, you have Derrick Henry, but Lamar Jackson is a mobile quarterback, and he uses his legs. You have a quarterback that can run the ball and supplement the ability to not put the workload all on your first string running back. So you got to get creative, man. You got 2, maybe 3 backs that can play. We know they can play, but depending on how it all shakes out, you got the ability to supplement it from being a 90-10 split with James Conner. So just be smarter. Just be smarter than what the statistics show, and hand the ball off to different guys and get creative in the run game.
Okay. I wanted to get that out of the way, but also with the Trey Benson side, I kind of want to spend a little bit of time on him, just a couple of minutes here. It's very obvious. Like, can he be the number 2? Yes. But, like, will Trey Benson be the number 2? And if he's not, what if the Cardinals are struggling? What if it's just Connor and Amari DeMarcado is exactly what he is, an undrafted guy who earned his way onto the field, and Trey Benson is a waste of a 3rd-round pick? What is then the Cardinals' offense? Because if it's predicated on the run, you're running out of guys who can actually run the football. I guess the real question is, like, what's the worry? What if Trey Benson isn't there? What if he's not the guy? Confidence level that he would be, and what's going to happen if it's not? You go to Mercado, or is it more on Kyler Murray at that point?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The one thing we know is that, say what you want about Drew Petzing, they run the ball efficiently. Doesn't matter who's back there. So you take, if you want to give him the balance, like, they had no passing attack and no defense, and they were towards the top of the rushing attack when Kyler Murray tore it and then came back with Josh Dobbs, and then when he came back. They were top 5, I think, after Kyler Murray came back and rushing. Like, it doesn't matter. You need to find – all that needs to happen from that running back room is there just needs to be a level up. And Trey Benson showed the scoot a lot when he was able to get in early in games. I use the 6-man analogy, 6-man of the year, like in basketball. Not everybody can be Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford, who can just rip after sitting on the bench for half an hour. Trey Benson's got to get in. He's got to still be warm from warmups. It's gonna help eons. So if James Conner gets hurt, I have no problem with Amari DeMarcado and Trey Benson, irrespective of who's 1 and 2, to carry the weight till he comes back with some help from Kyler Murray. Like, they've got too many weapons on here to make excuses about what ifs.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen. Yeah, there's really nothing. We could go hypotheticals all day on who gets hurt, whatever. Like, you got backs that can play. Your O-line's got a block for them, and they got to figure it out, man. It's just like you can't keep splitting hairs that way. It's just got to happen.
sports segment. I call it the fun segment. It's things that everyone else in this chat hates, besides myself. Let's talk some Madden ratings, Clancy. And I'm more actually curious when it comes to Jamil, if guys actually care about this stuff in the locker room. So let's talk about it next.
Guys typing.
Yeah, what in the world are you doing? Are you in trouble? Are you texting a girlfriend?
I'm not the one that's
novel?
in trouble. I'm not the one that's in trouble.
We're in a world now where Madden ratings are a thing. And in the world of late July, early August, you best believe people are talking about them. Instead of asking the question of like, are we in a world already where Madden ratings mean more? I'll just ask you this, Jamil. How much weight does this hold with the players in the locker room? Do they actually care? What was your reaction when you saw your first Madden rating?
Oh, I think my rookie year, my Madden rating was like a 67 or something like that, which is like obviously it's disheartening. It is.
Did you stick yourself in a different position and play franchise mode?
I did not. Look, I didn't even put myself in. I was not going to be the reason. I was not going to be the reason why my offense wasn't moving the ball. But look, I mean, I love my guy Cam Scatterbo, obviously former ASU. I saw something that said he has a higher agility than Derrick Henry and more strength. He's like a point stronger than Saquon Barkley. And to me, it's getting ridiculous, guys. Like I mean, the number one overall pick was rated a 67. Cam Ward was rated like a 67. Why is he the number one overall pick if he's a 67?
I don't know. Fantastic question.
It just doesn't make sense. So there's got to be some. I don't know, man. It's not making sense, dog. It's not making sense.
The beauty.
Do either of you guys play Madden?
I play Madden. I play NCAA or college football. Like those are my games.
I used to.
I'm okay. I'm not joking when I say this. I'm very good at Madden. I'm very, very good at Madden. I've played with in leagues before. This is just name dropping now, but I played in a league with Keenan Allen and Derwin James. I played a lot back in the day with former Cardinal safety Tony Jefferson, who once joined the league. If I traded himself to the team that he was playing with now, I'm a very good Madden player. So these do mean a little bit to me. And what I will say is the only thing that matters in this game is speed and speed alone. 100%. Outside of that, it's all just nonsense, man.
You got to have speed and you got to have good cornerbacks. That's it. You got to have some good corners.
I can assure you that that is true. If you can have, like, you will sit someone that, like, you will play, like Jalen Ramsey when he was 31 years old. You won't, but he's a superstar in the game, which Clancy doesn't know what I'm talking about at this point. But since he's 90 speed, you're not playing him. Yeah, you're not playing him. You're playing 5'7" guys with 96 speed because that's all what matters in the game.
Wow. So it's based on real football then, is it? That's interesting. So you don't play the best players. You play maybe if you spent as much time playing Madden as you did get in podcast reps, we'd be having a different conversation. You set yourself up for that. No, like the beauty of this with Madden, though, I will give the credit of this because we were supposed to talk about something completely different. But the beauty of the Madden ratings is because there's more than just 100, you can be rated. Every player can be rated the same, and there's not just 100 list. This is a lot more accurate than what you're looking at with the NFL top 100 list and things like that.
Yeah,
there's not just 100 dudes and you have to rate them. Like Buda Baker's a 92, Trey McBride is a 92. It's like, yeah, okay, this is where this is the world in which we live now. Where it's like the Madden ratings actually hold weight, not because people care with real football, but because it's the accuracy of it more times than not is pretty close to it. And Cam Ward being a 67, maybe he's just not that good of a quarterback, and they took him number one because it was a bad quarterback class.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Sorry, it was your past employer, but maybe.
So that's where I was gonna get with this. Do you guys think Madden ratings? I got it from Clancy, but do you think Madden ratings mean more to? I would just ask to players. than the NFL top 100, or just generally? Do you think it means more?
No, not at all. I mean, guys, look, guys enjoy seeing it and seeing what the rating is, but like, you make the NFL top 100 list, that's official. Like you're up next to get a bag. you get on that top 100 list. Like if your Madden rating, Cam Ward could be a 67. He could go out and have a great year. Like, he does not care what the Madden rating is. It's just something fun that guys kind of joke around and like laugh around about, but it's not anything that holds weight in locker rooms. Like, no one's tripping over it.
So let me ask this. Because of football, because you guys do play Madden, so I'll take the joking out of it now. Where do the Cardinals rank in Madden play? Like,
they're
are they
not
a
a good
top 5 team?
No.
I'm talking about skill position. Like, no, that not a good team. You said the fastest people win, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is they're not a good team to play with.
I'd play with. Listen, you got a good quarterback on Madden.
Kyler is really good in Madden. But outside of that, you're lacking a lot of speed, especially defensively. And I hate to break it to you, speed and height, only thing that matters in that game. And it has been for the last 10 years. I don't know. I also, listen, this is where I'm going to toot my own horn. I don't even care. Anyone in the chat, anyone listening to this, I'll beat ass in Madden and in college football. And it won't be Jamil. You let me know.
Is this a Cardinal show or a Ben Garcia? Like, what?
I'm just saying.
Who cares?
I'm just saying it is, because why not? Because it's the 4th segment. We're not even sure a quarter of the audience is still listening. We're talking about Madden ratings in the late July. All I'm saying is, and so to answer your question, I feel like I'm pretty good to answer that. No, they're not a great team to play with.
But you also wanted to make sure that you said that you'll win. Yes,
I did. I don't get to do that a lot on the show. I'm good at Madden.
Usually people that win don't really have to, kind of voice that. Oh,
you're definitely dink. You're 100% dink.
He's dink. He's dink.
You're for sure dink.
Okay.
This is the Dink Show.
See me in the sticks. Some of the Cardinals rookie ratings: 77 overall for Walter Nolan, 75 overall for Will Johnson.
That's good.
Jordan Birch, 73. Cody Simon, 69. Denzel Burke, 70. Hayden Connor, 65. Kitten Crawford, 66. Yeah, Walter Nolan and Will Johnson. Like, you gotta be pleased with those.
It's pretty good, man. I mean,
I was trying to find where's the tight ends? Trey McBride, 92 overall, behind your guy in George Kittle and Travis Kelce. Mark Andrews is also 4th on this list. I think Mark Andrews is 4th on that list.
I think that's right.
Where is Brock Bowers?
He is 5th behind Mark Andrews. That is a little tough.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a little tough, bro. But here's
dude, I'm telling you,
I don't know what Brock Bowers' speed is in that game, but Evan Ingram is number 10 on this list. He's a demon in Madden because he's fast. If you got a fast tight end, it's a cheat code too.
For sure.
Safeties, you mentioned Budda Baker's 92 overall, Xavier McKinney's 93, Derwin James 93. So that's 3 and 2, and then number 1 is Jesse Bates.
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe that Cincinnati let him walk. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
It's Cincinnati, dude. They're doing dumb things for years.
But the Cardinals are there too. Like, the Cardinals used to be there. It used to be Cleveland, the Cardinals, Jacksonville. Like, that's what it always used to be. And now the
Giants
Cardinals
let McKinney walk,
dude, and the safety, like Micah Hyde still doesn't have a job. It's like, dude, the safety positions, bananas. But
the Giants, we can't talk about the Giants letting McKinney walk like that.
They let McKinney walk. Whoa, dude. Okay, first off, Xavier McKinney was good with the Giants. I mean, now he led the league in interceptions last year. He's a stud.
We're talking about the same group of guys that let Saquon Barkley out the door. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we can't even talk about the Giants saying, "Oh, we'll let McKinney walk." It's the same year. Like, what are we doing?
Would you like to know? Did I'm going to tell you anyways. The 10th, still hanging around, top 10, Harrison Smith. That dude's just been rock solid since I was a child. That is insane. Well, he's been better than that, but
you're still a child.
Okay, all right.
He's learning. Woo!
Just let me have fun for once. All right, guys.
This is fun just for you. You know that, right? That's selfish. You're 1/3. You're 1/3. You got to get at least another buddy here. I guess you do have Jamil with this.
It's literally he literally has the Ben Garcia show in the back. Like, he's just like, what are we doing?
Come on,
What
bro.
did you
What
want
are
me
we
to put?
doing?
Did you want
The
me to
dink.
put
The dink.
Locked On Suns up there?
No,
Isn't
I
it Locked
wanted,
On Suns?
I wanted
Yeah,
to
this is
say
the Locked On
dink.
Podcast Network after all.
Yeah.
We go nothing. You want
Don't
to go
take it
nothing
down
up there?
now. Don't take it down now. We're in the 59th minute.
This is
Just leave it
the
up
fun
there.
show. This is the fun segment.
Jeez.
Listen, when it comes to Madden ratings, you look across the board. The Cardinals defense is so much better than it was last year. It's absolutely insane. I couldn't imagine what the starters last year were like and how many 60s there were in Madden last year. Like when you got your rookies there in the mid 70s, and I don't care about, but again, at least it's a barometer check. You get kind of in the arena in the right section, not necessarily the right row and aisle, but you're in kind of the vicinity. And it's better to have guys that are over. I don't know. But I just can't wait for football so we don't have to talk about Madden anymore.
If we do it once a year, we're never going to talk about it again. God, you guys are both just sticks in the mud, I swear. All right, before either one of them gets a dig off on me, I'm going to end the show.
You want to gloat about anything else?
All right. Thank you for making
the
Locked
On
Cardinals
something this week. Do you want to take your own word for it?
You guys want to see this? Watch this. Watch this. Thank you for making the Locked On Cardinals Squad Show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NFL Scouting as trading games get closer and moves are being made to host Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the most informed NFL fan this offseason. Find Locked On NFL Scouting on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts as I bring the guys back on. For Clancy, for Jamil, for everyone in the chat, myself, Benjamin Garcia, we will see you guys next Tuesday.